Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Evolution. So in the last episode we were in beta 1.4 and we went out over to the new chunks over that way and found some cocoa beans for a cookie shop that we built just over that way. So it was a pretty small and concise episode, we didn't really do too much. But today we are on beta 1.5, which is actually kinda feature heavy, I guess. It's not too crazy, but yeah, we got some cool features to take a look at. Now, as per usual, we're going to be going through the additions and changes in this update, or at least as much as I can before we get started or anything. So the first couple things I want to show off, or the first thing I really want to show off, is shift clicking. We now finally have this in the game. Now, it's not the greatest, it's not fully there. Like, I can't shift click in my inventory, I can't shift click into a furnace, but I can shift click in and out of chests, and this is already a very big improvement from what we had before, having to drag everywhere. So obviously over time we'll be seeing more being able to shift click throughout the inventory and furnaces and stuff as well, but we got the basics of it. And another thing I could show off, or another new addition in this update, is the achievements. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think these were kind of in beta 1.4. They were like in the code, but they weren't actually like properly in the game, but they're here now. And I've already gotten 2 of them because I just got them while doing things. So taking inventory and getting wood, I've already got them. But as you can see, there is the rest of these. Now, unfortunately, as to be expected, it doesn't count all of the progress we've already made. So I might dedicate a video to hunting all of these. And I do also notice that there are some missing. Like, of course, we have like the enchantment ones missing and stuff because that's not a thing yet. But diamonds seems to be missing as well. I don't know if it appears later on or something, but it's just not here. But yeah, that is the achievement tree. Alright, so I'm just quickly interjecting here before the episode continues. I actually realized at the beginning I forgot to mention this completely, but alongside achievements, we actually have the addition of statistics as well. I just figured I'd come back and say this so I didn't need to just suddenly mention at the end of the episode. But as you can see, we pretty much got a bunch of things that we can see, such as things such as the time we played, saves loaded, games quit. You'll know what this does. It just shows you your stats, and we can actually have a look at some of the stone things. So some of the stone things, some of the blocks. So as you can see, this is kind of what I've been doing this episode so far. These are my stats, so just a quick peek at that. Yeah, I'm kind of nearing the end at the time of recording this, so this is pretty much the amount of stuff that we've done. So, of course, it goes without mentioning as well, this is only counting statistics from this update onwards. Of course, didn't count any of the things prior, which I would have definitely had a lot more blocks broken and stuff if that was the case, but here's what we have. Yeah, that's basically the statistics on with the video. Now, a couple more things, or one more thing I can show off in here is actually the ladder change. Now, there's been a change to ladders, so if I go ahead and craft some ladders here, it now gives 2 instead of 1. And the reason this was done was, I'm going to need to make a couple more for this, was because of that ladder offset thing. I don't know what you call it, but that trick that people do in old versions where they go like this, they're able to put like 1 block gaps between ladders, and that essentially allows you to climb them. That has now been fixed, and in order to, I guess, substitute for that, they've gone ahead and changed the recipe to yield 2 instead of 1. Now, one of our other additions that I can quickly show as well is the addition of birch and spruce saplings. So I did talk about this briefly in the previous episode, and they've now been finally added. So we have a way of basically getting renewable birch and spruce trees in the game. Now, as you can see, I went ahead and got these in my own time. I was thinking of doing it in this, but I figured it would just be a boring segment, so I just went out to the new chunks back where we went last episode and got some of these. So we should be set. I'm hoping that's enough to, just start planting these around and, growing them. We start getting more of this wood to build with. Now, heading outside, one thing you may notice is the grass looks a whole lot more better. Now, this is honestly one of my favorite changes that came in any beta version, and you'll notice that the sides of the grass now accurately match the top half. So the color was changed in Alpha 1.2, I think it was, in order to, match whatever biomes, because biomes were added. And the side texture never actually used the color. It continued to use the old neon green grass color. But now that has finally been fixed and the grass just looks a whole lot more nicer. Okay, so I was just going to try and show something with the video settings there. The thing that when you turn the graphics back to fast, it actually still has the old weird grass thing that actually stayed for quite some time. And I tried to do that, but my game crashed. And I'll tell you why the game crashed is because now we actually have the GUI scale thing in video settings. And what I was able to do with that is head into the options text file and change it to a custom value. So I changed it to 4, and now I've got a very lovely sized GUI. You may have noticed it's not as massive as it was before, but it's not as small as the the medium option is, which is just way too small. But with that out of the way, next thing we can go over to is these pigs over here. So if I go ahead and set one of these pigs on fire, as you can see, he now drops some cooked pork chops. So now we have a way of easily getting these without having to cook the pork chops. So we can just go ahead and set these guys alight, let them die a very, very painful death, and we get an easy meal to go with it. Okay, so heading into the redstone workshop now, we can go over and have a look at two of the other new additions in this update, probably some of the more notable ones, which is the addition of two brand new rail types. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some resources here, and we can go ahead and craft these. So with some gold, a piece of redstone, and a stick, we can go ahead and make the brand new powered rail. And the second rail type can be made with some iron, just like that, a pressure plate, and a piece of redstone. We can go ahead and make the brand new detector rail. So we'll just quickly take a look at these before we head into the main stuff. So they're pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you all know what these do anyway, but if we go ahead and place some of these powered rails down, provide them with some redstone, as you can see, they are now lit up and ready to boost some minecarts. So I'm actually going to waste some of my iron here because I'm too lazy to go and grab a minecart from the station. So if I go ahead and just push that, as you can see, minecart now gets a boost. So the previous method of doing this was either with furnace minecarts or minecart boosting, and the latter, I believe, has been patched now. So these are now the new method in boosting minecarts. Alright, and the next rail type, which is the detector rail, is pretty simple. So if we go ahead and pass a minecart right over, as you can see, once it detects a minecart passing over, it emits a redstone signal. So it's pretty self-explanatory there. And yeah, so that is pretty much the set of features that these rails offer us. And this is what's going to now lead into the main part of this episode. So let me just go ahead and clean up everything that I have laid out here, and I will meet you guys in a second. Alright, so I was a bit indecisive as to what I wanted to focus on in this episode, as, you know, there is a decent amount of new features. You know, my first idea was to maybe focus on the achievements. Could have done like an achievement hunting episode, but I figured I wanted to focus on the rails, and I thought the best way to do that was to make a railway. So if we just head up here, I have come up with the idea with this empty room right here that has been sitting here for some time. I've been wondering what to build here, and I finally have had an idea. So I figured I can go ahead and make a railway that goes into the house and connects out to the train station that we have just out there. So I've gone ahead and dug out this tunnel, as you can see, and luckily this is on the exact same level as the railway, so this should be a breeze. So if we just kind of go over here, go on F5, as you can see, railway station's right there. So all we need to do is just extend it down here and connect it up. But before we get started on that, I actually want to make my way over to the railway station and just make some changes real quick. Alright, so if we just head up here, I just had to go back and grab some blocks because I forgot to grab them. So as I mentioned previously, I'm not 100% sure if this is the truth, but I'm pretty sure that minecart boosting is no longer a thing. So let's just go ahead and try this out. So it appears I was incorrect in that. I do know it eventually gets patched out, I'm just not sure when. So it does seem like minecart boosting is still a thing. So that does kind of help. It doesn't mean I need to do anything that way. Oh, hold on. Here's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm actually going to go take another look at the wiki page, and I'll get back with you guys in a second. I just want to double check and see if I was right in that or not, because I feel like I remember it being the case. Okay, so it appears I wasn't exactly incorrect. I think the thing that's happened here is the boosting does still work, but it's just no longer as effective. So let me just wait for the night to come by. What I'm going to do is just test this out. I want to see how far I can go with it, if it will take me the same distance. Because if it doesn't, that means I don't need to change anything else, at least for the time being. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a test run. Alright, so yeah, the conclusion we can come to is it doesn't seem to be entirely patched as I thought it was. Because I do remember the actual changelog for beta 1.5 doesn't mention anything about minecart boosting as far as I'm aware. I'll double check that. It's probably best to double check these things before making such bold claims. Yeah, so I'm having a look at the wiki page for beta 1.5 and I'm not seeing any direct reference to the removal of minecart boosting. It still seems to be the same. I'll check beta 1.5. It does seem like it's not exactly mentioned. Now, the place it is mentioned is on the history section of the minecart itself on the wiki. It says in beta 1.5 that minecart boosting no longer works or isn't as effective, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's different methods of boosting that don't work as well. I have no idea, but case in point, as you can clearly see, the minecarts still get boosted, so I'm just going to go ahead and make my way back real quick. I'll meet you guys there. So this does kind of save me a little bit, because it means I don't need to go ahead and put powered rails everywhere, which is nice, at least for now. But what we will do is I still want to actually put some powered rails down at the actual station, because this configuration here just looks ugly as hell. It's never the configuration I wanted. So we're going to go ahead and change this up. And we'll just have this set up. And we'll also have powered rails for the railway that heads into the house, because, you know, we've got to use them somewhere. It is a new feature. And what kind of video would it be if I didn't check out the brand new things? Okay. First things first, we'll go ahead and finish that up and patch here up too. Grab that. Now, the way in which we're going to want to do this is likely like this. See, minecarts are extremely weird. I know this because I was making a railway in my other world not too long ago. Well, I'd say not too long ago, it was like 2 years ago, which was also in beta, but they haven't really changed. They still have this very weird thing. So, powered rails only boost a minecart if on two conditions, I guess. If the minecart on flat ground, now on flat ground, the only way it gets boosted is if it's against a wall, and on a section like this, if you don't have a wall next to it, it has to be on a slope. So if I go ahead and did that, as you can see, no boost whatsoever. I'm going to actually go ahead and block this off so the minecart doesn't go rogue. Let's just go ahead and do it here. As you can see, it goes. And same thing for the slope. So there you go. It's extremely weird. I have no idea why they're like this, and it's extremely funny because they are still like this. Nothing has changed. So we're going to have to deal with this, unfortunately. And yeah, it's just a really shit part of minecarts. So pretty much we're going to have to try and get the minecart to stop on that slope. And in theory, if the railway is not activated, they should stop there. You know, if this game's logic is anything to go off of, let's go ahead and just quickly test something though. I just want to see. Okay, so that activates all four. What if I had the button over here? No, that doesn't. How am I going to do this? Oh, we just have a button in the middle, I guess. Oh, wait, how big is this? Is this a heat pod or? Okay, so yeah, I've actually made this, it seems, in thing. So what we're going to do is just bring this out one more. So we get a middle point. Go ahead and do that. And then on this end, we can, I guess, just do that. That does look kind of ugly, but it's okay. Yeah, so that should at least just do what it needs to do. Let me just try this out, actually. I'm going to lock that off. So if we go ahead and get a powered rail, we need a redstone torch as well. Place that down. Boost. Okay, it stops there. I'm going to probably need a bit of a bigger boost than that, so let's try this out. First thing I want to try though is how far would the minecart go? So how far away do I need to space these powered rails? I need cobblestone for... So we'll probably be in the minecart as it goes. And minecarts do somehow get a little bit more momentum when a player is in there, or at least I'm assuming that happens here too. Let's go ahead and go. I mean, is there even any need for any powered rails? I guess we can put some for safe measure, but that seemed to boost me pretty far. I can honestly probably just have powered rails around the corners, because that's probably where we'll lose some momentum. And also go ahead and start laying some of this stone down. Surely we can make it. Thank God, there we go. I should just be able to put a powered rail here. And the wall of this room is probably going to be going like that, because I've got to block off the bricks out of there. It's a really weird shaped room. I honestly probably could even have the railway be a bit closer, but yeah, whatever. Do the wall to this room as well. Blocks here, but Okay, so after a bit of work, this is what we have. So I've gone ahead and added this little kind of open tunnel section. I thought it looked kind of nice, so it's here now. And yeah, just kind of added a bit of decoration to all of this. So we've got these little stone slab accents, I guess, to the walls. Make it look a bit nicer. I'm not really sure of what else to add to the actual railway itself, so I guess this is what we're just going to be working with for now. But now is a good time to test out and see how far we can go. And as it turns out, I can't actually press that button. That's amazing. It's not going to do anything. Alright, hold on. I'm just employing a little band-aid solution here. Let's see. Right, off we go. We are going at a very, very fast speed of probably like 2 blocks per second, maybe, give or take. Okay. So that's a problem. I'm gonna go to the other side and figure this out. And what I'm thinking, or what I've got, the idea of what's going on in my head is, it seems to go faster when it's put on a little ramp like this. We get all the momentum we need. So let's see. Yeah, definitely way faster. Unless I just didn't place the minecart right in the other place. But we do definitely make it. But as you can see, that corner messes up our speed. So we're going to need to place some rails down anyway. Hold on. Yep. I'm going to place this right against the wall. Yeah. Okay. See, that is pathetic. That's just really bad. Let me go ahead and make some more powered rails real quick. I think 12 should be fine. And I'm going to make some redstone torches too. So if we just... If I give it like a big boost, like 3 more there, that should be good enough, right? Yeah, off we go. There we go. And then, honestly, I think... where would be good? Maybe this right here? Let's go ahead and place a redstone torch. Do that, and I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so now wait. So did it just need like an update or something? What the hell is going on? Okay, try this again. Right, so I just needed to do that. Well, noted that for the future. So, I mean, I think that should honestly be enough. But I do want to actually just quickly do one more thing. Let me just go back to the workshop and grab some of these detector rails, because it's going to be a little bit of an issue that we're going to have to fix, and we'll speak about it once we get there. Alright, so remember that unpowered powered rails just stop minecarts dead in their tracks. So if I go ahead and just give this a boost, as you can see, it stops right there. So when we're coming into the house, it's just going to stop right there. It's not going to stop where it needs to stop. And the way to fix that is to get a detector rail, just like this. So what this will do is it will send a redstone signal, power the rails enough for the minecart to just make it to the wall, and we should be good from there. So if we go ahead and try this, there you go. It kind of bounces a bit, actually. Why does it do that? Hold on. Let's test this out with an actual boost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride all the way to the station. We're going to see if we can do this first, and then we'll ride back and see. So as we can see, we've got enough momentum. Kind of slows down a bit there. Maybe we can get a second powered rail. Okay, this is good. Slowing down, so we're going to need a second powered rail for some of these, but we've stopped. minecart is now in station. Now, unfortunately, we are going to need to like manually set this every time we want to go in a different direction. It's kind of annoying, but oh well. Why do the buttons just sometimes go fast? And if we go back, let's go ahead and see. Yeah, we're slowing down. We do need to adjust that a bit. I think like a powered rail just at this midpoint or something should be good, but let's see. Okay. I guess I could just push the cart back. An alternative is to have it be like a ramp thing again, but I don't know if I want to do that. Does that still get a boost? Oh, it's not even powered. Maybe if I powered it, it would get a boost, you know? Let's see if that, that still gets a boost from the, redstone. Hold on. Placing this in the wrong location. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave this on flat ground then. This is a bit too annoying to deal with. One thing I wanted to actually try, and it's the reason I got this dispenser with me, is I wanted to see if, dispensers can dispense minecarts in this version. I feel like I remember it being a thing. No, I can't, okay. It's much later then. I think it was, I don't know if it was release 1.0, it was later than that, but no, I feel like I remember it being a thing in beta. But since that doesn't work, another thing I want to do is actually get a little note block chime that plays whenever we get back. So since we have the detector rail here, we can just kind of incorporate it into this. And I'm just thinking, how do I want to do this? I could like have it in the wall or something. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. That's an issue. Yeah, so we don't really have much room to work with. I could, I think, just do that and then just do that, I guess. That could work. Yeah, that's gonna have to be what happens for now. Let's just see though, is that activating? Yep. Alright, there we go. After a lot of different attempts, I wanted to get a little chime play, like I have like 4 note blocks here and play them, but beta redstone is just incredibly weird because of one major issue I kept having, and that's repeaters. They just don't connect right, so if I put a repeater like that, let's say the redstone was like that, since it's not turning into the repeater, it doesn't detect it. It's really weird. This is what we are dealing with. This should do. It's just a basic little chime. I wanted to do something a bit more cooler, but oh well. So if we go ahead and just test this out, need to just fix this up. Wait, no, that's... Hold on. Getting all mixed up. Do that. And now... Hold on. Need to place this back as well. See? Okay, well, that's our little departure sound. And as we come in, once we hit the detector rail, there we go, a little chime. Now that minecart bounce back thing is quite annoying. Not sure if we can do anything about that. But I mean, that is pretty much the general gist of it. There's obviously a bit more we can do, and I'm gonna probably just add some stuff here. I don't know what I'm gonna add, maybe some paintings or something, maybe a plant. I know. Can I add plants? I guess I could do a flower. I was gonna say, would have put some leaves down, but I can't do that. I guess maybe, I don't know, just add a little accent here as well between the logs to kind of separate the two areas. And yeah, let me just go and figure out what I can add here. First thing I need to add is a door, of course, but maybe we can do a couple more things along the way too, so let's see. Okay, go ahead and add that in. And right, so one thing I was thinking of doing, I can't do it here, unfortunately, because the wall is kind of gonna affect it. I guess I could maybe, hold on. Let me assess this. So I was thinking of changing the walls in here to cobblestone and getting some mossy stone in there too. I think that could look pretty cool, so let me just try that out real quick on this side. I think that looks kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, of course, the only downside is this. The wall here, I can't actually change it. Maybe I could change these ones, I guess. Just something like that. It's not really too big of an issue, I guess. Maybe I can cover it all up with some paintings. Yeah, you know what? I will actually make a painting while I think that looks kind of neat. But there we go. Now, one more thing I thought about doing was going back to the note block idea. I figured that we could actually use some of these detector rails and make a little note block chime or song play as we kind of come into the base. So I'm going to kind of try working on that and seeing what I could achieve. So I'll just set some of these down as the railway goes and see what we can do. And there we go. Now, I wasn't exactly sure what to put there. I was thinking of maybe trying another, trying to do another one of the OSTs, but I just simply decided to make a ascending and, when we go back, descending tune. I thought it would sound kind of cool. And it was the most simple out of the bunch, so that's what we're rolling with. So let's go ahead and hear this. I love that. I love that. I am quite proud of that. And with that done, I think we've pretty much reached the end of everything I want to do in this episode. So there is a couple more things, or I guess one more part of beta 1.5, which we couldn't actually get to have a look at in this episode, and that was weather. And I'm hoping that the game decides to bless us with some weather and hopefully a thunderstorm next episode, so we can maybe see the new lightning and some of its cool effects. But unfortunate side of that is that it's completely dependent upon time, and it's just completely random. I could maybe go into the NBT and edit the time thing. I think there is a value there that you can change to make it, you know, happen a bit quicker or whatever. It just kind of... There's a value stored showing like when the next storm is going to happen or something. I think I might be able to change that. If that is a thing in this version. I would assume it is, if it's programmed the same as it is in modern. And assuming that's what that value actually does. But before I do wrap everything up, I do just want to quickly say something, and that is that it has officially been a year since this series has begun. So I started the series back on November 5th in 2024, and it is now, as you would expect, at least at the time of recording this, November 5th of 2025. So I just want to really thank all of you who have shown support to this series. You know, it genuinely means a lot, and I'm very happy to know that there are at least some people that still enjoy watching it, and thank you to all of you who have stuck alongside me. I can't speak. Thank you to all of you who have joined me on this journey and are still with me on this journey. Of course, this isn't the end. I'm making it sound like it's the end of the series, but I just want to give a quick thank you to all of you who have shown support to the series. And yeah, so hopefully we will continue on, and like, I don't know how far we'll go, but we'll continue going along, and maybe one day we'll reach a 2-year mark. I don't know, but yeah. So with that shit out of the way, and with all this done, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.